Hello and welcome back to another episode of Real Reviews. My name is Jamison Rabbit, and I'm joined today by a man commonly referred to as the Tone Loc of movie reviewers. His name is Mike Roth.
It's because I'm pretty bad.
Yeah.
You don't know it.
Today I think it might be because of the voice.
Yeah.
He's got a cup full of funky cold Medina, and we're going to get through this.
It's green tea. Really, it's green tea.
But we swear.
Yeah.
So this week we have a couple of movies to talk about. You might have heard of some of them. And outside of that, we are going to do some Oscar predictions in preparation for the Oscar telecast on Sunday, February 22nd. And so we're going to make our predictions, tell you who we wish would win and who we think is going to win. And but we're going to get into that shortly. But first, we're going to take a look at what was on the marquee this week. The first movie we have is the much anticipated film that I know Mike and I both have been really looking forward to.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are the target audience for this, and that is 50 Shades of Grey.
You've read it 3 times?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, unbelievable,
Wow.
isn't it? So 50 Shades of Grey, directed by Sam Taylor Johnson, starring Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson as the two leads, as Mr. Grey and Ms. Steele. If you have eyes or ears, you've heard all about what this movie is. And it is the first in a trilogy of books about this young girl who goes to work for this powerful young billionaire there, Mr. Grey. And he's got some peculiar tastes in, he likes to exert control in all aspects of his life, as he says. I can't believe I quoted that movie.
Yes.
And it turns into... it veers into low-grade porn at some points, and it's, I don't know. Here's the thing. Like I joked about it, we are not the target audience for this movie.
No, we're
Going into it, we know this, right?
Yeah.
When I walk into the theater and I see a bunch of lonely housewives and or ladies with their men kind of dragging along behind them, I was one of those.
I was the only guy in the theater.
Were you?
Yep. When
I was in the shuffling herd of guys on Valentine's weekend going, all right, let's go. And I don't know, for as much hype as there was for this movie and as much money as this movie made, and just all of the furor around it, the protests about it, about how it portrays women and all these things, I found it really boring.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I went in open-minded, all right? Like, okay, I know, I don't go in hoping to hate a movie, very rarely.
Yeah.
Surprised me with a good movie. I'd love to see a good movie over a bad movie. And I was just bored.
I actually thought the first part, I thought Jamie Dornan, who did Mr. Grey, I thought he did a really good job at seeming like a person who was in control, and he stayed in character, and I really thought, oh, this is an intriguing character. But as the movie went on, he became less intriguing, obviously.
And playing it monotone isn't mysterious.
No.
He played it very monotone for a large chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
And for some reason, being a billionaire gives him supernatural powers, where you're able to just kind of like morph into places, find people. Oh, you're on the other side of the country? I'll be right there, and then shows up as she's still on the phone. You know?
It seems like anytime, because this is a relationship movie, anytime the relationship started going down, money came in. It was like, oh, well, yeah, I'm not thinking about going out with you anymore, but, ooh, a car. I got a car. Let's go out.
I mean, there's one scene where he's like, where are you right now? She's like, I'm at a bar. She's like, he goes, which one? I'm not telling you. Wait right there. And then boom, he appears.
That's actually creepy. But, you know, his character is a creepy character.
Obviously.
That's supposed to be enduring. I really didn't feel the enduring too much.
Like I say, my biggest takeaway with this movie is I was fairly bored with the plot, with the characters, with the ending especially. And I'm in a theater full of ladies who are fired up. Some were really fired up in this theater for this movie. They were going on and on. At the end, it was almost overwhelmingly consensus that that was a weak ending. Like, I don't like the way that ended. And we already know we're getting the last two movies.
Yeah. Pretty much everybody knows there is going to be sex in this movie. Even the sex scenes I thought were
repetitive.
Quite boring. And I usually do not say that about sex scenes at all.
It was like they had the same B-roll footage of a red rope being threaded through a handle over and over again. Like, oh, this scene again, okay.
Yeah, it's, what can I say? Usually I would find this be a little bit better. But
And the thing is I'm really interested to see what the second weekend totals are for this. It broke records for opening weekend.
You want to talk about that?
But
How much they made?
What did they make?
Worldwide,
$1 bajillion.
over 250 million.
But I'm curious with word of mouth what it's going to do for the second weekend. I always am kind of interested in that. When you hear bad word of mouth coming off of a blockbuster like this, everyone who's going to see it has seen it. Where does it go from there? Unfortunately, there's not a lot of competition to really put up against it. But.
Yeah. I think because of the popularity of the book, people are going to keep on going to it. Similar to all the teen romance movies that we dread seeing during the summer. But they pack the houses because people who read these books, they want to see their characters brought to life on the big screen.
It is what it is. What did you end up giving the movie, by the way?
I gave it a 2.5. I thought I could sit through it. I wouldn't see it again. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's going to get a sequel.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, that's already been announced. I gave it 1.5 stars. I thought it was. I went in hoping to be surprised, and I was just let down with it. Like I say, in a movie like this that's supposed to be titillating and taboo, I shouldn't be bored.
I really thought the first part was than
the first part. The lead-in was good, and it had me intrigued, but it ultimately.
And even
failed.
some of these sweeping scenes that really were supposed to be, just picturesque, they came off kind of boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
I agree. What movie do you have, sir?
I have the better movie to see that did not make as much money, but still gobs and gobs and gobs of cash.
Well.
I went to see Kingsman, Secret Service. It's directed by Matthew Vaughn, if you know him from X-Men First Class and Kick-Ass. It's based on a comic book by Mark Miller. Pretty much you got this street kid. You see him running around over here. He's rough around the edges, but he's kind of accepted in this class, this really ultra competitive training program to belong to the Kingsman, which is a very underground Secret Service British spy ring. Luckily, they get this guy just in time before a big evil villain comes in. This is pretty much what you want out of Bond's films, but you don't get anymore. You got this classic evil villain that's a little quirky, played by Samuel L. Jackson, if you haven't heard about him at all.
With the crazy list.
He's Mr. Valentine. He is a media mongol, tech guy that's going to eliminate a majority of the population. That is his thing. It's going to solve global warming. He has an evil henchman that's a little quirky also, Gazelle. Her kitsch is she does not have legs. She has the blades, and she is a master martial artist with these things, knocking off heads left and right. You have Colin Firth, who is the person who brings in the main street kid, whose name is Eggsy.
Eggsy, yeah.
Yep. And it is actually 2 movies. If you watch it all the way through, the first part is a very smart, high-thrilling, classic spy film. And then in the end, you get more of his Matthew Vaughn's Kick-Ass type, where it just goes off the hinges. It surprises you. I thought I knew the movie just from the trailers, but you watch this movie, and there is plenty of surprises in there.
Well, that's the thing is you mentioned Matthew Vaughn, and Matthew Vaughn, I remember him bursting onto the scene with Kick-Ass, and that was another movie I thought from the trailers and everything I knew about it, like, oh, this is going to be cute, and it was ultra-violent.
Oh, yeah.
And that blew me away. I'm like, I love this.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. It is a great spy movie. It's an homage to a lot of different genres.
Yeah.
Without being hokey, it is very much an homage, but it is surprisingly violent. Out of nowhere, you think, okay, I think I know where this scene's going, and then like, whoa.
And it doesn't let up from there.
No, it doesn't. And it's great. And the cinematography is beautiful. Colin Firth, I mean, you don't expect Colin Firth to be the action hero.
Yeah.
He's not the action hero. He's great in this.
Oh, yeah. He's actually will admit that he is the least likely person out of all the actors to actually be considered an action hero. But there is a scene, the church scene, which you'll see in the previews. It's amazing. They did it in one take, and Colin Firth just looks like a badass. I'm not going to touch him.
He's great. It's great. It's an amazing cast. We get Mark Hamill back, which I love to see. Michael Caine, because who else would play the head of the British Secret Service than Michael Caine, right? And the young man who played Eggsy, I thought was great.
I love the action. I don't know, did he do his...
I don't know if he did his own stunts or anything, but...
They were amazing.
They were.
I did have a problem. They did use some of that shaky cam fight scene type stuff
kind
that
of
really
slow it
bugs
down,
me.
very computer animated.
Where you see someone throwing a fist, then cut, and then off to something else.
It's like
so
the
it looks
Sherlock Holmes type.
Yeah. Which
You see the tooth come flying out, hit somebody.
I'm getting kind of tired of seeing that kind of stuff.
I thought they did it well, though. I thought they used it well.
They did it well. Yeah, it was a great movie.
It's a fun movie, isn't it? I mean, it was a lot of fun. It didn't get boring. Like I said, it was self-aware of what it was, that it was a throwback to those spy movies that we all love.
And they mention it.
They do.
Many times.
And that's great, is the back and forth play with Samuel L. Jackson, Colin Firth especially. It's very self-aware, but it doesn't get cheesy with it.
No.
It still stays, and just when you think like, oh, okay, like so they know what they are, and then it's like, oh, somebody just got cut in half.
Yeah.
I don't remember that in a Bond movie, but...
Matthew Vaughn, I guess he already knew this was going to be a hit. He turned down another big project that happened in the summer. I can't remember. But he already announced pretty much what the sequel is going to be like before the weekend was over, which
I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah. I hope this goes on and competitive to the James Bond. This could go on for years.
Why not? Definitely.
Why not?
And just like Bond, anybody could step into the role as a Kingsman. You have to keep replenishing it. Somebody's got to be Lancelot. Somebody's got to be,
Bond wants to do the serious, kind of bland, toned down everything.
This was fun,
Let
man.
this pick up the pieces.
So I gave Kingsman 4.5 stars.
I also give it 4.5 stars, and I'm hoping to see the sequel really soon.
Yeah, it was just, all I can say, it was fun. It was great. I want to go see it again, especially after a stretch of terrible movies that we've had to endure. It was great to just sit there, eat some popcorn, and be like, yeah, this is awesome.
It's a nice, it's a Valentine movie.
Yeah.
The bad guy's name is Valentine.
Boom.
So if you happen to be a guy that doesn't want to see 50 Shades of Grey, definitely
go see 50
this.
Shades. Bring your lady 50 Shades. Tell her you're going to go get some popcorn, slip into this movie.
Exactly.
Say, there was a line at the stand, baby. I'm sorry. That's how it works.
A little other fact, I guess Samuel L. Jackson, he had a lisp early in his acting career.
Oh, yeah?
So that's where
I thought
it
he
came
was
up.
just channeling like Michael Strahan.
No, he started doing his thing, and Matthew Vaughn, he's like, "What are you doing?" And Samuel L. Jackson said, "This is the bad guy. This is how the bad guy's going to sound."
It's how
and
it
they
works.
went with it. I think it did great.
I do too. I agree. Check it out. Coming soon. We're going to talk about coming soon real quick before we jump into our Oscar discussion. We have coming up. We have 2 movies coming out. I believe it's the week of February 27th, I believe we're jumping into. And that is, the first one is called Focus. Focus is the new movie starring Will Smith, Margot Robbie. Mm-hmm. It's a heist movie.
Yeah.
And it's tough to tell. It seems like one of those heist movies where there's going to be a lot of double turns.
Yeah.
A lot of, I thought you were, I can't trust you, or can I? And it's kind of the return to like an interesting role for Will Smith, as opposed to being Jaden Smith's dad, which he seems to be relegated to for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I like that he's kind of stepping up again. Like, no, I'm Will Smith, man.
Yeah.
I can do something. And so I'm kind of curious to see that. The other movie we have coming out that week is a horror movie called The Lazarus Effect.
I'm looking forward to this one.
It actually looks good, and the cast is phenomenal. I mean, some of my favorite actors, Mark Duplass, Olivia Wilde, Donald Glover. It looks fun. It almost looks like Flatliners. A bit of a Flatliners vibe to it.
Except for a little bit more action. Flatliners was, great movie, but this one seems high action.
I'm actually kind of excited to see this.
Yeah, same here.
We'll see. And so that is our coming soon for the week. Let's jump into some Oscar talk, shall we?
Well, let's
We've
do
kind of
this.
been building to this for quite a while.
It's exciting. I just let everybody know, unfortunately, Hollywood does not send out most of these movies in major releases. So we reviewed most of them, but it was a lot of times
Just
a month.
couple that slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, a couple slipped through the cracks. A lot of them were actually a couple months after release. I would have loved to have seen these when they were released. A lot of these movies are phenomenal, and you should see them even though they've already been out for a couple of months.
Well, most theaters, they're all re-released right now because in preparation for Oscar season. So
yeah.
Let's jump right into it with our talk about Best Supporting Actress. I'll run down the nominees real quick. For Best Supporting Actress this year, we have Patricia Arquette for Boyhood, Emma Stone for Birdman, Keira Knightley for The Imitation Game, Meryl Streep for Into the Woods, and Laura Dern for Wild. So what we're going to do real quick is I want to know who you would like to see win and who you are expecting to actually get the trophy.
Well,
because they're two different things a lot of times.
What I would like to see win is Keira Knightley for The Imitation Game. She did a phenomenal job as Joan Clark. I think, again, I have not seen Wild, Laura Dern, so I can't really,
Yeah. You got to put your ear to the grindstone sometimes.
I can only say what I've seen.
Yep.
I really don't think Meryl Streep should be getting this. I think they just love giving her nominations.
Yep.
I do believe that Keira Knightley will win. I think she, out of all the list of what I've seen, of course I have not seen Wild, she's the strongest.
So she's the one that you would like to see win and also are predicting to win.
I believe she did the best job.
One and the same. For me, I think Patricia Arquette deserves it for Boyhood, and I actually think she's going to win it. I think she is the one. Her and Keira Knightley are really the two in this category that aren't supporting actresses. They were the lead actresses in their films.
Yeah.
I don't know why they were relegated to supporting actress. Patricia Arquette was the lead actress in Boyhood.
Yeah.
And she, say what you will about the movie, she had to show up every year for 12 years and do this. And for Patricia Arquette, I thought it was one of her best performances she's ever put out. I think she has a very uneven career as far as what she's been capable of doing. I thought her portrayal as the mom going through life, not being there all the time, making the wrong choices, I thought she was good, and I think she's going to get recognized as such. I agree. I think Meryl Streep was a token name to be thrown in the pot.
They just want to keep on I think she has 3 wins and 18 nominations.
Meryl Streep you're talking about.
Meryl Streep under her belt. I think they just want to rack that number up so high that they could say no one could ever top it.
No one will touch it. So those are our choices for Best Supporting Actress. Best Supporting Actor. We have Edward Norton for Birdman. We have Ethan Hawke for Boyhood, Mark Ruffalo for Foxcatcher, Robert Duvall for The Judge, and J.K. Simmons for Whiplash. What say you?
I have seen all these movies.
Yes.
I would say J.K. Simmons, hands down, is going to win.
Easiest category.
This is the
a slam dunk.
A lot of people don't think he was, just like you said before, the supporting actor. He was the main actor. He's the reason why this film is out there as Best Picture in the first place. For him not to win this would just floor me.
Yeah, I think that this is, of all the categories, this is the easiest to pick.
Yeah.
He is, and there's some great performances in here.
Oh, yeah, there is.
But he is head and shoulders above everyone else's. His performance was, I hate this cliche you see on movie posters, a tour de force.
Yeah.
But he was ferocious. He was the reason I was white knuckling it.
Yeah.
He was the reason I was digging my nails into my leg, because he was menacing. And it was amazing to watch. And everyone else was fine, but he stands out. And if he doesn't win, it's a huge upset.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest one.
Easy.
The next category we have is Best Actress. We have our nominees are Felicity Jones for Theory of Everything, Marion Cotillard for 2 Days, One Night, Julianne Moore for Still Alice, Reese Witherspoon for Wild, and Rosamund Pike for Gone Girl. Now, this is one of the categories where I believe you've only seen 2. Is that correct? Theory of Everything and Gone Girl, or just Theory of Everything?
I saw Theory of Everything and Gone Girl. That's it.
And so 2 Days, One Night and Still Alice especially are 2 movies that are in very, very small release.
Yeah. Still, 2 of these movies have not shown up near our city. Still Alice, I believe, is starting this weekend.
Here where we are, yes.
But it's really late. After the Oscars, it's pretty much...
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on this guy? Kind of going.
Well,
sometimes you just have to make an informed choice.
Yeah, I can only choose between 2. So what I would like to see is I would love to see Felicity Jones. I think she did an excellent job in this movie.
Theory of Everything, yes.
Without seeing the movie, I think that the Academy wants to give it to Julianne Moore, though. She has 4 nominations already. They're always touting her as the best actress, but she hasn't won an Oscar yet. So
yeah, My choice for who I would like to see win is Marion Cotillard. I actually went and saw 2 Days, One Night the other day. We got it here at Sundance.
You cheated.
I shouldn't drop that name, but I did go and see it, and she is very much. She is in every single frame of this movie. She is the movie, and she plays it well. It's a French film, and she was great. And she had a performance I thought was better than most of these. I think Rosamund Pike was kind of just. She was great, but I don't think she was anything special in Gone Girl. So I would love to see Marion Cotillard win. That's my choice for who I would like. I think that it's Julianne Moore's pretty easily. And I think that she's one of those actresses, she's a revered actress. She's nominated a lot. She gets big choice roles a lot. And this is the year I think that they make good. They give her Oscar. There's no Meryl Streep in here. There's no Jennifer Lawrence. There's none of the big ones that normally would be walking away. No Amy Adams that would walk away with the Oscars. I think this is the year that Julianne Moore gets her Oscar. Not having seen Still Alice, but this is the vibe we get.
And
she's been winning all of them leading up in all the other awards.
And it's unfortunate that we have to say that we have to say we know who's going to win because of the politics and not because of the movie.
That's the way it is. So, Best Lead Actor, we have Benedict Cumberbatch for The Imitation Game, Bradley Cooper for American Sniper, Steve Carell for Foxcatcher, Michael Keaton for Birdman, and Eddie Redmayne for Theory of Everything.
And again, one of these movies I have not seen. I have not seen Foxcatcher.
So.
I have seen the trailers back and forth, and Steve Carell does look like he's did a great job.
It would be great to see Steve Carell win, but he's not going to.
No, he's not going to win. But he did look like in the trailers alone, he looked like he did a phenomenal job. I am definitely going with Eddie Redmayne as Stephen Hawking. He did a fantastic job. I believed his character to be Stephen Hawking's. I cannot see them going with someone else just because of the amazing transformation that this man has done.
I think that this category is a two-horse race, and it has been, as we've been following all of the other awards that have come out, it's kind of alternating between Eddie Redmayne and Michael Keaton. Those have been the two that have separated themselves and have kind of been splitting a lot of the awards. At the Golden Globes, when they split comedy and drama, they each won for Best Actor.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a two-horse race, but I would love to see Michael Keaton, but Eddie Redmayne's going to win.
And we've had this argument off screen before.
Eddie Redmayne is definitely going to win. I think it would be surprising if he didn't, even though it has, like I say, been kind of a two-horse race. I would be surprised if he didn't get it, although I'm still calling for that apology for Jupiter Ascending. When you go up and get your award, I want that mentioned.
Jamison Rabbit, he
say.
is really upset about my last movie that I just released.
Next category we have is Best Director in a Feature Film. Our nominees are Alejandro González Iñárritu for Birdman, Richard Linklater for Boyhood, Wes Anderson for The Grand Budapest Hotel, Morton Tilden for Imitation Game, and Bennett Miller for Foxcatcher. And the award goes to?
If it was up to me, I would say Birdman.
That's who you would like to see.
That's who I would like to see. Iñárritu. Alejandro. It was great. The way it was shot wasn't my best picture by any means, but the way it flowed, and it was shot in a way where it was seamless, which it's extremely hard to do. This whole movie had extreme flow. It had interesting characters, great color. It really was amazing to look at, and that is from the direction. This is what I would like to see. But I think with all the hype of Boyhood, I really believe that it's going to be Richard Linklater.
Yep.
And yeah, it was an accomplishment. I've had this argument before off our little set here. The accomplishment of watching a kid grow up for 12 years and getting all these people organized together, that is the direction. To be able to commit to something and write this and have all these people come together every year to do this movie is a direction feat, but I didn't think it made a good movie.
I agree. My choice, who I would give it to if I were giving it out, would be Alejandro González Iñárritu for Birdman. Birdman was my second favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. And again, this is another category where I think it's two guys. As much as I love Wes Anderson, and I would love to see Wes Anderson get recognized,
Yeah.
he's not going to do it.
It was a great movie, though.
Right.
Great movie.
But this comes down to the two guys who did something different that separated themselves as far as the making of their film, the look of their film, the technology of their film, and that is Linklater's choice of making the movie over the time period that he did, and Iñárritu's amazing kind of steady one-shot look of Birdman. And I'm torn. I mean, I want Iñárritu to win, and I'm torn about who Hollywood is going to give it to. In the end, I think that Iñárritu is going to win for Birdman.
Really?
I do. I think that if you asked me a month ago, it was definitely Linklater. But I think that Birdman has come on lately. And I think that people are starting to recognize that, and maybe recognize that, I don't know. I'm leaning that way. And it's 51-49 as far as who I think Hollywood is going to go, because they love to recognize these sorts of things. And I think when the two of them are both have something different technologically that they did, I think it's a tough choice. So, but I'm hopeful. We'll see.
I hope you're right.
The last category we have, the big one, the big Mamma Jamma, Best Picture. We have Birdman, American Sniper, Boyhood, Grand Budapest Hotel, Whiplash, Selma, Imitation Game, and Theory of Everything. Quickly, sir, what do you say?
Guardians of the Galaxy. Easily, hands down, not nominated, though. So,
No.
out of the nominated, my choice is Imitation Game. I thought that was a 5-star movie. I didn't give that out to too many movies. It was a perfect movie.
But now you know that's not going to win.
I know it's not going to win.
So who's your choice?
I think the political spin on this is it's going to go to American Sniper. It's made so much money and has so many fans that I don't think the Academy wants to ostracize themselves from the normal people.
One
and
of the
normal
few
people,
movies that didn't get the director nominated.
Yeah, and the normal people, they love this movie.
That's true. That's true. It would not surprise me to see American Sniper. For me, who I want to see win, Birdman. Again. And this one is 50-50 as far as who I think is going to win. I have gone back and forth. You could ask me in 20 minutes and my answer will change. Ultimately, I think that Hollywood is going to split the difference on director and picture and recognize each. I think it's going to be Boyhood that wins Best Picture. I think Birdman's going to get the director and Boyhood's going to get the picture.
I think there would be an uproar.
I don't think so.
If American Sniper's not winning anything,
I don't think
there
Sniper's
would be.
going to win. I think they'll win a couple of technical things, but I don't think they're going to win Best Picture. I think for me, it's Birdman and Boyhood. I think Birdman's the better movie. I think that they're going to split it, though, because they do that quite frequently recently, is they'll split the movies into the directors, which drives me nuts, because I think if you're the best director and your picture doesn't win, or vice versa, it's insane. But
we should have a betting pool on this. We really should.
We'll talk about that. So those are our picks for the Oscars. You can watch the Oscar telecast on February 22nd and decide how we did, if we're idiots or if we're geniuses or anything like that. I know the answer.
Idiot savants.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So next week we will be discussing Hot Tub Time Machine 2, McFarland USA, and The Duff. But before we go, I want to quickly thank our sponsors. Our one sponsor, we don't have two yet.
Yeah.
Our sponsor, Marcus Theaters. Thank you for showing us all these movies that we talked about today, a plethora of movies. We really appreciate that. We encourage you to go and find us on Twitter at Real Reviews TV. Find us on Facebook, Real Reviews TV. Where else can they find us, Mike?
We now have Google Plus, and that's tied into YouTube.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So search Real Reviews anywhere you can find it. Look for these faces.
Or just look for us, too. We're on Facebook.
You will be happy. And also, of course, find us on iTunes. This is a podcast if you only want to listen to us and don't want to see the faces. Go to Sun Prairie Media Center and subscribe to that podcast. You will find us. So until next week, we talk about time travel and hot tubs. My name is Jamison.
My name is Mike Roth.
Thanks for watching.